Everyone, Bill Nichols here, Bill Nichols TV. Today, let's do an unboxing. I've got a new drone in, not old, but a drone that's been out for a little while. I previously had an experience with it, wasn't the best. I wanted to give it some time. I also wanted to wait for the Realsense features to come out. So let's talk about the Typhoon H today. All right, so we are back, and I got this package. So right off the bat, really quick, this today is being supplied by SkyBoss Drones. Just to get this out of the way, I am in no way being paid, given anything, compensated in any way for this, other than SkyBoss Drones is a place that I buy from. I really like Ray there. He's a great guy, great support. That's where I buy my drone stuff when I can. And so today's video, I called up Ray and I said, hey, do you have a Realsense? Because I know that there is a discount going on right now with the Typhoon H's. So he sent out the Typhoon H Realsense, the Typhoon H Pro kit. So let's get into this, just so you know, get this out of the way. Right now, I believe that Typhoon H's are $9.99. The Typhoon H Pro, this kit right here with the backpack and everything else that we're gonna see in it, is $14.99 until November 5th, which I think is, it's Friday or Saturday. I can't even remember what day it is right now. So November 5th, it's going to go down. So these are $14.99 right now. SkyBoss Drones, he's got them in stock. He can get them out to you. And if you can't pay $14.99, they also do some really easy financing. I think it's like 120 bucks a month or something. But like I said, I'm not being paid for this review. I'm not being compensated anyway. I'm not being given anything. So this is going back after the review and after the few videos that I do. Just want to get that out of the way right now. So let's jump into it. Typhoon H Pro with Realsense. Actually, a really nice looking backpack here. The one thing about the Typhoon H, it's I thought that it was going to be more compact when it first came out, and wow, really nice looking. Look at this. This is a nice looking backpack. It's got some hard support on the sides that's obvious in the front, so I'm guessing it's like a Case Pro or Go Professional style case inside. But Typhoon H isn't the most compact thing. This is definitely a little bit larger than carry-on. Since it's a backpack, you could probably get away with it. But let's, God, I don't want to open this up and have anything dump out. I haven't opened this. I have no idea what's inside. Besides, we know that there's a Typhoon H and some controllers. Okay, so here we go. All right, so here's the, I'm going to tilt it up, show this to you. So there's the Typhoon H. All right, so we've got a, let's see what we've got here. We've got the controller, we've got a screen, you've got the wizard wand. Nice, it comes with 2 batteries, which is good. And they're heavy batteries. These are 5,400 milliamp hours. And then you've got the Typhoon H, of course. You've got a charger. You have USB cable plus SD card. You've got your props and everything right here. So let's just get this out. I'm gonna scoot this out of the way. What is the best way to do this? All right, so we'll get the controller out. The controller is absolutely massive. If you've seen one before, you know that. We've got the 2 batteries. We've got the charging brick, which the batteries just pop right into. We've got this USB cable plus adapter. This is an accessory box. We'll dive right into that thing. This is the propellers. These are the wizard wand, little sunshade that pops right onto the controller. And now let's get the Typhoon out and let's ditch the bag. And without the Typhoon in there, the bag is super light. Let's make sure we didn't forget anything. Oh, there's some instructions. Nice top pocket here, if you see this. Really nice top pocket. You can fit quite a bit of stuff in there. Nice little side mesh, I like that. And then feels like pretty good comfortable straps too. It's Typhoon branded, Yuneec branded. All right guys, so let's get this stuff out of the way. So let's go, first we've got the controller here, the sunshade. Let's see what's in the accessory box. And then we'll end up diving down into the Typhoon itself. So the accessory box just looks like the AC adapter for the charger. That is exactly what it is. All right, so let's open the accessory box. So in here, we've got the SD card. If I remember, it's like a generic 4C or something SD card. I think it has the manual and stuff on it. Yep, there's the SD card right there. It is a 16 gig one, I remember that. And you've got the USB micro cable. So let's put that back in. Probably won't even use that card. I'll just use a bigger card since we're gonna be flying and shooting. You've got your manual, everything right here. And then the two batteries, the battery charger, the wizard, the controller, the props. All right, so let's get through some things on the Typhoon. What I remember from last time that I flew it, when I had issues, now there should be some new software, the compass issues resolved. A lot of people kind of dogged me on my video saying that I didn't calibrate it right. But just so everybody knows, for those that didn't read through my comments, I actually spent over 2 hours on the phone with Yuneec, going through step-by-step calibrating, and it was confirmed that I had a bad compass right from the start. So I'm gonna address a couple of issues that some people said, because I do like the design of this. I just had bad luck, hopefully better luck with this one. So first thing, when I first brought these up in the first video, people had talked about, oh, they seem really flimsy, and if those locks failed, then what? Well, in here, while this little buckle, the little button here is plastic, inside, let's see if you can see this, there's a metal divot right here, and that goes into a metal, there's a little metal clip here, and that goes into a metal socket in here. So it's metal on metal, it's not plastic, and these are pretty good. And from what Yuneec has said, they are designed to break away so that if you were to crash, hopefully just an arm or two arms or something breaks, you can replace those and then you can get yourself going again. As we all know, the landing gear come up. We've got the camera here. It's the Seago 4K camera, the Seago 3 Plus. And here's what's different on this one. We've got the Intel Realsense module. I asked about battery life, and supposedly the hit on battery life with Realsense is negligible. It's not going to be an issue. So I still love the design of this. So people talked about the plasticky feel of it. It's a little bit softer of a plastic than the Phantom 4, but overall the design's fine. Nice wide legs. They fold up. Get your 6 blades. I'm not going to do a test where I break one of the blades while it's flying. If you want to do that, you can go right here to FPV Guy, or who used to be FPV Guy, to Bo Lawrenson. He actually did a really good test on showing it while it was flying and him breaking a blade, I believe, with a broomstick. And he was able to land it and keep it under control. So you do have that redundancy there. Of course, keep clear of spinning propellers. Easy way to tell your propellers apart. Let's get this in the picture. You've got A, B, A, B, A, B on here, or you've got black, white, black, white. So I'll show you, just like anything else, how quick it is to get the propellers on and get going. So we're going to look. The propellers say B and A on them. So there's B, there's A. Stick them in and turn, and that one's clicked on. That is now on. That is now on, and then the other ones go just the opposite way, like every other quadcopter in the world. There we go. And there we go. So all 6 blades on Typhoon H with Realsense. Yeah, so overall the design's exactly the same. You've just got this little Realsense module plugged back into here, and then that is it. So right now, yeah, this is normally $18.99. It's down to $14.99. Really, the Mavic coming out is going to push a lot of these down. So I think that it's going down to $14.99 right now. I wouldn't be surprised if you see it around $14.99 for Christmas. I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes the new price for this, with $9.99 becoming the price of the Typhoon. Yuneec really needs something that's going to compete with that Mavic in about the $1,000 range. So I would say that this is with Realsense. They're positioning this to compete with the Phantom 4. They're probably positioning the Typhoon H without Realsense to compete with the Mavic. Obviously, portability, there's a huge difference. This is bigger than a Phantom is, slightly less portable. It does fold down nice, but it's still tall, so it still takes up some room. All right, so next I just drop those down really quick. Next I want to talk about the controller. So there is kind of a love-hate relationship with this controller. I see people that love it. I see people that hate it. For me, there's a couple things that I really like about it. I'm going to show those really quick, even without it being on. And there's a couple things that I don't really love about it. The first thing I don't love is that even though it's a full Android OS on here, they don't let any apps, get installed on here. And I know that they're doing that because they don't want you to mess around with the, with the app that's on there and have some potential problems with the small craft here. But you could allow us to install some programs or have a store Yuneec that we could pull some programs down from. Like I would love to put a Z recorder onto this remote so that I could then record the videos, offload them on an SD card, so that I could record the screen and show everybody, what's going on here. So right off the bat, though, that's really the main thing that I don't like about the OS of the controller. Then the other thing is that it's a big controller. I mean, this is a really big controller. But you do have some good stuff. Like you've got your automated start-stop button here. You've got everything is well laid out. The sticks feel really good. Even if they're wide apart, they still feel really good. You've got switches on here for everything. What is really nice for me that I like a lot is, well, I don't believe, and I could be wrong, but that in the app itself that you've got expo settings like you do in the Orgain settings, like you do in the DJI Go app, where you can control how quickly it pans or how fast it's responding to stick control. What you do have is on your pan, you've got this dial right here. So as you go, you can control the speed just right from that dial. So this is a really nice way to do it. Right here. And then on the controller itself, you've got these. So here's your gimbal tilt. So the more that you do this, right, the faster and slower that you do this, the faster and slower it's going to react. And then you've got your speed control here. So you want to go slow like a turtle, and your controls go here. You want to go fast, go here. So I always just kept it down somewhere right here in the middle, so that my reaction here wasn't as quickly, and I got a little bit slighter, smooth movements. Let's see if this is power, if this is charged or not. And if it is, we'll just power it up. Oh, looks like it is. There we go. Take the little gimbal guard off if we want. Like I said, so you've got like this control here is going to control the panning. Let's see, like that. And then this one here is for, that's for the up and down. This is for the panning horizontally. See the mess that the office is right there? That's fine. Obstacle avoidance not available. Holy cow, look at this mess. There's the main camera, bikes, drums, everything else. All right, guys, well, let's get this thing out in the sky. Let's give it a test. And today, let's go through a basic calibration, basic flight. Let's take some video, get it back in here. Then I'll start doing some videos, running through some more modes. Let's get outside. All right, guys, so we're out here in an empty area in Irvine. This lot, there's some construction going on. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna get the Typhoon battery in, we're gonna get the arms out, leave the props off, we're gonna do a quick calibration. So I've got the gimbal cover off. I left that back at the house. Let's just bring these up. We're going to put the battery in here. I'm gonna take the controller, I'm gonna let the controller boot up. So this is gonna take about a minute or so. Let's go ahead and set the Typhoon down here for now. So really all that I want to do today is I want to get a good calibration. I want to take it on a first flight and then take it around, get some ideas with the shots. I'll post that video in this video. I might mess around with the video settings some, I might not. So it's booting up right now. Once it boots up, we're going to boot up the Typhoon. I'm going to actually probably set the Typhoon somewhere over here. I'll change this camera so that it's on us, and then we'll do a calibration. And basically on the calibration, when it comes up, you're going to probably have a yellow LED. You're going to probably have a yellow LED here on the back of the Typhoon, indicating that there needs to be a calibration. We'll initiate the calibration, and then what it's going to do is start flashing red and green, and two arms will light up. And when those do that, we'll grab those arms, we'll flip it by those arms until the next two light up, and it should just go around to the right, and it'll keep going until it gets a good calibration. Then at the end, if you get a white LED, it's a bad calibration. If you don't, then it's a good one. All right, so this is on. Let's go ahead and we'll turn the Typhoon on now. All right, so it's coming on. We'll see the status LED indicators here. See if we see that. I'm just gonna set this off. So one thing today, we've definitely got some wind that we're dealing with. But, and unfortunately, I can't record the screen because they don't let you on here. I could record the HDMI out, but that's it. So the GPS is ready, the satellite's there. GPS is on, compass, accelerometer, gimbal calibration. Let's go for a compass calibration. All right, so now it is flashing red and green. So let's change. All right, so now I'm not sure if you see this or not, but there is a flashing red and green LED here. Then we have these two arms right now, this one and this one, have their lights going. So we're gonna grab these, we're gonna rotate around. Now they've changed, and now these two are going. They're still going. Now they've changed, now these two are going. And in this instance, the calibration has failed. So to try it again, we've got to actually power off. Power back on. All right, so we are now connected. The Wi-Fi is connected, the RC is connected. So as soon as it finishes connecting, this time what I'll do is I'll back up a little bit, but out here we're really away from everything. There's, we shouldn't have an issue with the calibration. All right, so it's ready to calibrate. We've got red and green going. I'm just gonna back up away from the equipment, even though a little bit of camera equipment shouldn't cause anything. So we've got this arm here. Let's go. Come over here. And what you're looking for is right now they're still blinking. So now they've changed. And now come over. Now they're going again. Now these two are going. And you've just got to watch these until it finishes up. And I'm holding it up a little bit higher to keep it off the ground in case there's any magnetic interference. So there we go, now we're green. So we've got a good compass calibration. So I'm just gonna throw the propellers on. B. So the propellers are really quick to put on. Just a very fast snap. You get a positive click knowing that they're on, nice and stable. All right, so the first thing that I'm gonna do here today, I'm just gonna get it up and just let it sit. The problem that I had with the Typhoon H last time, before some updates, was this toilet bowl effect. I spent a lot of time on the phone with Yuneec. I did have a bad one, a bad compass. Hopefully that's not the case here. They fixed the issue. A lot of people had that issue, and I can say their calibration is a little more complicated than something like the DJI or the X-Star. So hopefully it's working well now. We're gonna get it up in the air and see. You won't see me on this camera. I'm gonna have the other camera on the controller itself. Then I'll have this one over here. So let's get it up in the air. All right, so press the button to get it going. Now let's just take off. We'll just have it hover to see how it does. So it is pretty windy here today. All right, so right now you can see it behind. Let's go ahead and take the landing gear up. So we're gonna do that with this switch right here. We're just gonna hit up. See the landing gear go up. They're now in the blue sky. You can see it hovering a bit better. Well, so far, let's see, how can we see it in here? Can we see it? Yeah, let's bring it up closer. I mean, it is flying really well. Like I said, it's relatively windy out here today. So it's doing a pretty good job. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and record some video. I'm gonna bump it down to 1080p at 30 frames a second, just because this video is being shot in 1080p, so you're not gonna really see the 4K. I'll shoot some 4K in another video, then upload it on its own. So image style is set to gorgeous. Let's change that down to natural. I'm not really, I don't really like these gorgeous settings or whatever they have. Let's just record some video here. So far this has kind of resolved my issue with the toilet bowl issue with thinking that the compass calibration wasn't good. It flies quite well. I'm just from the little bit. Now here's something that's interesting. And I found this with the first one as well that I had. Okay, so you've got these 6 blades, this camera that hangs down pretty low, but on the Typhoon, you'll see in this video, as I go forward, like right now, I'm going forward somewhat fast. When I really go fast, those props are in the shot big time. Now it's pretty low to the ground. Just gonna bring it back here. So you can see those props in the shot. Now what I can say is that with how smooth it's flying, it does fly really smoothly. It's very stable. That was my initial issue. So I do think that the one that I just had was bad. The second one that I got, what was wrong with it was that the SD card slot on the bottom was bad. And that just kind of shook my confidence for a bit. But it seems like they probably worked a lot of this out. So let's go into a smart mode really quick. Let's do one thing. Let's just do a point of interest or maybe a curved cable cam. Let's figure out what we're gonna do. So let's do, I believe that the orbit mode is just gonna orbit around us. So let's just go right into orbit mode. It comes up and it says, when orbit mode is enabled, the Typhoon H flies a circular path to pod. To begin, make sure the Typhoon is 25 feet away from you after takeoff. I would say it's definitely 25 feet, but you know what? We'll back up just a little bit. Then you go to the next one, and it shows you that with this stick, by going up and down, on this stick here, you're gonna change the altitude. Here, you're gonna change if it's going left or right, and then on the right stick, up and down, you're gonna change the elevation. So that's fine. Then tilt controls the camera tilt, of course, right here. So let's enter. Let's go ahead and start. Make sure the H is clear of all obstacles. So around us, there's really nothing over about 15 feet. Actually, there's really nothing close to us that's over 8 feet. My car is the tallest thing. So let's hit start. We slide to start. Now it's starting to go. Now we can see it starting to come around us. We are recording video right now. I can change this so now I'm right in the center. So like I said, so this is the orbit. So now I'm changing it to the other way. I want to slow it down some. I'm going to bring it out further away from us. So now it's probably about maybe 100-foot circle. Let's go ahead and change the camera angle some, bring it back up so we're more in the center. I want to slow it down a little bit. I'm just slowing it down right there by pointing on the right stick a little. Oh, let's go back. So it's actually a little bit tricky to change the speed and not have it switch directions on you. And now, of course, while it's going, so right there I'm doing the camera tilt. I can go elevation. So I'm having it go up in elevation, have it come down some, have the camera come down. That looks pretty good. Then I can have it come closer to us. All right, let's exit that. And now it's just gonna sit there and hover. So let's bring it down so that we can see it. Can we see it well in the camera here? Yeah, there it is, it's right behind us. So like I said, this is the Typhoon H with Realsense. They're $14.99 right now. They're down 400 bucks. I have a feeling that they're going to come back down to this price and probably stay around here because they need to be competitive. All right, so far, I mean, I'm relatively impressed. I had issues with the first two that I had. Right now, I don't see any issues with this one. I will tell you one thing that I've noticed about the Typhoon. So one thing on the controller that I really like is this switch right here. It's this right kind of dial. So this has you go from slow to fast. So let me show you the difference here. Let's make sure that this is in the sky. Okay, so right now, I have it set on the fast setting. So I'm gonna get out of the camera frame. Let's see, I'm gonna push forward on the rudder, on the throttle, and you see it go forward, you see it go back, right? It's pretty quick. Now, let's do that same thing. Let's bring that dial down. So now I've got the dial all the way on the slowest, and now I'll push full throttle forward. And you can see how it's much more controlled. It doesn't lean as much. I've actually found this to be really important with the Typhoon H, and here's why. Let's get it going somewhat away from us. We'll bring it down. I'm gonna put it on to fast, and I'm just gonna go full throttle forward. You'll immediately see how much it tilts. And that is very, very easy. So at 1080p, you don't see it as much. But in 4K, when you're at full speed, this moves so much that you will get the propellers in the shot a lot. So what I recommend is coming down to about half throttle if you don't have to go that fast, so that when you move forward, you're not leaning as much because it's not accelerating as much, and you're keeping the propellers out of the shot. Now the other nice thing about 4K is that if you're not delivering in 4K, you can always crop into that and get rid of it if you want to. So just one tip there. Use this throttle control here, this speed control, kind of as an expo or a gain on the Phantom, so that you're not going as fast right off the bat and you're not getting that problem. I don't know if you can hear it, but right now the wind is seriously kicking, and I would say that the Typhoon is every bit as stable as the Phantom. So good job, Yuneec, on updating whatever software you did. It flies a hell of a lot better. I don't feel a lack of confidence with it at all. So right now what I'm gonna do is hit this switch. This is gonna bring our landing gear down. So you can see it come down. Then let's just go ahead and come down for a landing. All right, guys, so there we go. The first kind of flight, the calibration. So I did have to do the calibration twice. The first one failed. I'm gonna guess that it failed. I was probably a little bit too close to the ground with it. And it probably just wasn't able to calibrate. But we did the second one. It went through, it had me actually go through each arm basically twice, each pair of arms. And then it calibrated just fine. And you can see from the flight, no toilet bowl effect like has been documented a lot, which I documented in the past. It made me so mad. I'm glad to see that that's gone. It flies very stable. It is quick. Couple of quick tips there on reducing the speed so that you don't get the props in the shot. Seems like in 1080 it's using a smaller part of the sensor and I'm not seeing the props in the shot. I definitely am in the 4K, you'll see that in here. And then that's it for now. So we got it up, we got it going, got it together, looks good. Tried the orbit mode, saw it flying in some relatively gusty winds. So that's a good sign. Landed just fine, came on, came off, turn on, turn off just fine. Gonna go ahead and power it down now. The next video I will go through some of the other modes. So I'll go through the curved cable cam mode. We'll do a test with Realsense. I've got to figure out what the best test for that is. Because I know in Realsense, one thing is that it's limited to 8 miles an hour or so. So I want to find somewhere, a park or something where there's some trees, have it follow us through. But overall right now, solid performance, totally solid performance. Let's get back, look at the video. I'll put some of it in here as I'm talking, so you'll have already seen it by the time that we get to this point. But like I said, thanks to Ray at SkyBoss Drones for sending this out. I will be sending it back. I'm gonna do a couple more videos with it. I'm not keeping it. He didn't give it to me. So I'm gonna send this back after we're done testing, but right now they're $14.99 for the one with Intel Realsense, $9.99 without. Do I think you need Realsense? I don't know, I haven't tested it yet, but my gut feeling is I haven't done too much follow me with obstacle avoidance. If you're looking for something, a great one on a budget, $9.99, that's a great deal. But if you want the Intel Realsense, you're flying in an area where you could use it, it's $14.99 in this pack with 2 batteries, the case, everything else. All right, guys, so Bill Nichols here, Bill Nichols TV. You keep watching, I'll keep making videos. Have a stellar day.